Yes, we're clocked in. Let's make sure you guys can hear me. Hey, what's going on, party people? Now, this is your first time here. Welcome. It's definitely a pleasure to have you here. I go by the name of L'Esprit. I am a spiritual healer. And just give me a second, please. And essentially, as a spiritual healer, what I do pretty much is that I help people to become mentally and emotionally balanced. And ultimately, what that is, ultimately, the goal is to help you to gain more consciousness or to attain more consciousness, for you to become more conscious of who you are, for you to remember. Now, when I'm talking about helping you to become emotionally balanced, what I'm referring to is you having a proper understanding of your emotions, but most importantly, you also being in charge of your emotions. In other words, what I'm saying is you know what your emotions are, you know what your emotional patterns are, or you create your own. And if there's any type of blockages, I mean, that's when the whole transmutation or transmutation will come in. But you have to be aware of what's taking place for you to even change anything. In fact, when we're talking about doing your shadow work, a big part of that would be to transmute that, but you would have to understand how your emotions are. And there's a term that we use in the occult. We say you have to heal your wounded child. What this is referring to is those early disappointments, those early emotions. And I'll get to talk more about that because, as you can see, we're going to delve into the shadow self tonight. So yeah, so we'll definitely get there. So essentially, when I'm talking about, let's just say, being emotionally balanced, boom, that's what I'm talking about. Now, in addition to that, I also help you to become mentally balanced, just like, it's pretty much the same underlying understanding, goes here too, for your mental aspect, meaning you would have to understand how your own mind works. Then you have to understand how has it been conditioned or how is it being conditioned, and that's why we always say, I always say, your humanity is your spirituality. Because now what's going to have to take place, then you would have to understand that everything that you are encountering is shaping your life to think a certain way. That's where your culture comes in, political, whatever system, all of this shit is shaping your mind a certain way. And, or, what I'm saying, for you to master or become mentally balanced, you cannot master yourself if it's being controlled by somebody else. It doesn't make any sense. It's not, it's not you having your own mind control. That's why, again, just like I was saying, when you understand, society or just the life that you're living, and to see the sim how it's not simple, but yet it is. Meaning seeing the complexity in life because it nothing is what it appears to be. That's the reality that we're living in. And that's why the Indians call this world a world of illusion, which is the term that they use is Maya, which means, again, illusion. Now, I realize a lot of people struggle when it comes to the term illusion. They always say this is fake. Nope, illusion has nothing to do with anything that's being fake. I mean, although I could understand what you're trying to say, but generally speaking, when you go when this is a fucking illusion, it's not. There's no real shit behind it because when you talk about being fake, there's got to be something that this is fake to, and that's why that term doesn't really fit in there. And that's the difference between really when we're talking about illusion and fake. Now you implying there's maybe duality, two sides, a real one, a fake one. I mean, you can only have fake ones because of real ones. But that is not what I'm talking about. The world that we're living in is a world of illusion because nothing is what it seems. Meaning you see what's taking place, but it's not the way you think it's happening. That's why you have to get to know yourself, meaning knowing thyself will set you free. In a world that nothing appears to be what it seems, now you have to rely on yourself. That connection, that's when you're getting your guides to guide you. But your intuition, your connection with spirit or spirituality, however the fuck you want to call it, that's when all of that shit is taking place. Oh, I'm showing you the roadmap, baby. I'm trying to give you a great depiction. So again, that's why I always tell people, your humanity is your spirituality. This is your spiritual battlefield. This is where you have to do the shadow work. This is where you have to learn how to forgive people. This is where you have to become or materialize those divine qualities that you're talking about into this life. You know, that's when your energy, your presence, you're making everything count. Come on now. Come on, niggas. Come on now, baby. Come on. Come on one tonight. Come on. But again, if you coming back, my niggas, y'all already know. What? Come on now, you know what I'm saying? Don't treat me like that. This is your home, baby. You welcome. Always a pleasure. You already know what we do here. We're breaking bread, baby. All right. We hey, each one teach one. You heard? You know what I'm saying? My gift is for me to share with you. It's not for me. It's not meant for me to get. I mean, to actually keep. Because in fact, I mean, shit. When you keep it, it's not useful. I'll let that go to waste. Oh, nah, baby. I'm gonna give it. I'm gonna give it all to you, nigga. I'm gonna give it all to you. So just know, whenever you're getting this, you're getting all of me. This is my heart. This is my love, man. I'm saying, ain't no shame in my game, nigga. Not at all. Not at all. not, not a shot. Not a shadow of doubts, nigga. Not a shadow of doubts. But anyway, it's not but love. It's not but love. Let's get into it. So, for those of you, this is your first time, and of course, you know, spirituality as a spiritual healer, it's the foundation. It's that type of knowledge that I use, you know, to help you to have a better understanding of who you are. So now it's only right. So okay, so now if that's the case, so what is spirituality? What do we mean? What are we talking about when we're talking about spirituality? Let me give you the short answer right now. It's you. It's you scratching your ass. It's you walking around. You know what I'm saying? It's you taking a shit. It's you whatever the fuck killing somebody. It's you not killing anybody. It pretty much embodies everything. Because ultimately, when we're talking about spirituality, it's nothing but the story of the spirit. It's your narrative, you know. And then now you have something that is called the occult, or those manuals, as I like to call them. This is an open book, but you got to see it though. You got to open up your eyes. It's written all around you. But again, what I'm saying? This is the land of the lost. That's why you got to be found, baby. But you cannot be found without being lost. Lose yourself, motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? Lose yourself. You know what I'm saying? And again, this is also showing you your spirituality, the complexity in us. So even us, that's why you are more than fucking blood and fucking flesh, nigga. This life gotta be more. I mean, shit, it's more than dick and pussy. I mean, if your consciousness only stick to dick and pussy now at this point, you know, that's where you at with it. Namaste, nigga. Namaste. It's okay, baby. I still see best. I still see greater things in you. You, you don't phase me. Look at this nigga, man. Don't phase me. You know what I'm saying? You ain't gonna fuck up my mind, nigga. He not fucking up my vision. None of that shit, nigga. You know what I'm saying? I could see. In other words, I know your ignorance, nigga, because I know and understand your ignorance. It's not personal. I could bypass it. Excuse me. See you. Fuck out. You know what I'm saying? Just move shit up. Oh shit, I'm wild. Mhm. But and that's really what it comes down to. Now, going back to the whole spirituality shit, you know, it's truly knowing who you are, and that's, I mean, whether you know who you are or not doesn't take it away from who you are. I'm saying it doesn't add to you neither. I mean, at this point, it may not matter, but nevertheless, namaste, nigga. Yeah, that's why I don't judge you. That's why in fact, that's why I have compassion. But anyway, I'm saying all of that to say, as you're learning more about your essence, then you realize that's why spirituality is your life. And all religion is doing is pretty much showing you the divine in a human form. That's what makes me a religious person. But of course, as it is, that's what religion truly is. You have different dogmas or principles, different system of belief system. That's more where religion is going. But if you're able to see the underlying shit, they telling you there's more to you. However, it's being said. So that's why for me, once you understand what's taking place, how can I be one sided? I'm gonna be all of it and none of it. That's what I have decided. Once you master it, you throw it away. And that's what we do when we master anything. You made it yours, you know what I'm saying? Shit, it's a walk in the park, baby. So ultimately, this is all self mastery. This is you becoming the living spirit, speaking of the Christ consciousness, or becoming the Buddha, however the fuck, waking up, the bright ones, the shining ones, the enlightened ones. It's all the same, referring to a highest level of consciousness or awareness. So again, when you get to chop it down, like spirituality is your life. But of course, due to ignorance now, because you were never trained to look at the other side of yourself. So you've been trained to look at yourself as dick and pussy. So all that spirituality shit, it's wild. You know what I'm saying? Like, wow, really? So that's why maybe, either people are faking when they talk about spirituality, but it wouldn't be, what I'm saying, it's not the mainstream type of thing. Although it is, but most importantly, it's not Sunday football, nigga. You know what I'm saying? It's not the motherfucking NBA like that. That's part of our automatically. This is the part where you tell me you already know. You know what I'm saying? See yourself now going like, nigga, you already know. And I do. Yeah, I do, motherfucker. And that's what makes it a misconception and out of ignorance because you don't know much. You don't know your true nature. Namaste, nigga. So then now, let's get back to the occult a little bit. Then you have those occult scriptures, or from different disciplines, or different, sets of. I mean, ultimately they talk about the same shit, but they talk about it in different languages. Then you have the fucking Hermetics. You have uh, the Bhagavad Gita. You have Hinduism, the Tibetan Buddhism. You have Kemet. Uh, well, I would say the Bible, but you already know the Bible is Kemet. But if you don't know, okay, the Bible, Islam, shit, everybody's gonna get some over here, then nigga. Whatever the fuck else. So one thing for sure, we can clearly see that although all of those different religions are trying to tell us, nigga, there's something more to you than you. That's ultimately, the ultimate, the baseline. I mean, if you could see, depending on how you're looking at it, fine, that's okay. If you're not convinced, you're not. Probably never will. That's a probability. Anyway, nigga, you wild. Where the fuck was I gonna go with this? Because I was gonna take it somewhere. So again, it's like, spirituality it's your essence. It's who you are. Now going back to the occult. Now the occult now is pretty much like I was saying before. It's a manual, with those sacred texts, that gives you, that deal with your dark side, with the dark side of yourself. And that's why they call it the occult, which is a hidden culture, dealing now with the non-physical aspect of yourself. That's why one of the most basic shit you'll learn in the occult, telling you about you, is that you have a conscious mind, you have a subconscious mind. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Did you know that, Mr. Hotel? Like, oh shit. Now you can hold your dick and look around, y'all. Got a conscious mind, got a subconscious. Now, what does that mean? Again, the purpose is dealing with, like the non-physical aspect of yourself. And that also includes your shadow, which that's what we're going to be talking about. I'll talk about that a little bit, later. It includes all of those different aspects of yourself, your true self, your true essence. So again, this is all your regular life. So what we're doing essentially as a cultist, we're simply having a deeper understanding of this ordinary reality, meaning we don't look at it as it appears to be, because it appears to be simple, but yet it's very complex. It's yet very simple too. But we're all talking about different level of consciousness here, of adjustment, and showing you too, like the connection in everything. That's why, as we can talk about Maya, you could also say the same thing about you. It's like I'm a father, but I'm also a son, a cousin, whatever the fuck, nephew, uncle. Uncle. Which one am I? None. And guess what? I'm all of them too, because I have experienced all of them. So that's why you know what I'm saying. The opposite got to come together. That's why the paradox, as a spiritual being, well, that's when you become whole. You become perfect by bringing those two aspects of you together. You could call it higher self, lower self, fucking masculinity, femininity, your intellect, your emotions. This is when you become whole, when the physical becomes one with the non-physical. That's the yin and the yang. And that's the foundation of the very thing that African spirituality it's all about, which is life, truth, everything else. So now, again, that's why I like to spend a little bit of time talking about spirituality, because if you could grab this by itself, oh, naked, congratulations, baby. Oh, sir. You listen, congratulations to yourself. Because that alone is already giving you a different look. Now you're gonna start looking at things sideways. Nah, man. So again, that's when, following yourself, becoming yourself, you're living a cosmic life. Your reality, like for me, that's what I'm saying. Like I'm looking at, I could see underneath the veil. And that's truly too. I mean, we're not taking this too far. How you transcend. That's transcendence. You transform matter. That's when matter doesn't matter anymore. Anyway, just to close it out, I mean, essentially, now, but if you get this though, because this is the essence of all of the other teachings. In fact, from this perspective, that's where the teaching, I mean, that's everything. That's why knowing yourself sets you free, baby. That's how you waking up. Or you attain that Christ consciousness. Again, same difference. So now, because we're living in a world that that's keeping you or training you how to be ignorant, and when I'm referring to ignorance, I'm referring to a lack of self acknowledgement. Because the further you go from yourself, away from yourself, the more ignorant you fucking become. In other words, you're not operating from the truth, which is your true self. So we're living in a system that is training you. not to be you. So, in other words, they are keeping you asleep. They are training you to be ignorant because everything starts and finishes with the self. If you need love, you gotta love yourself to find some. I mean, everything comes from you. Your talent, everything is you. So if you don't embrace you, what do you have to offer? See, again, if we're going back to the gift thing that I was talking about, let's how else would I shine? And I shine like bright like a diamond, nigga. Fuck out of here. You ain't fucking up my pretty at all, nigga. What are we doing? So therefore now you have a society where people are living their lives based on who they should be, never on who they are. And you've been trained to think that way. And the further away, because where I'm going with this, I'm going to step into what we call the shadow now. And, which is also part of spirituality, which is also part of who you are. But the thing with the shadow and the self, the further away you are with yourself, the further away you are from the shadow. Now, the shadow is not the self, it's a reflection of the self. Kind of like your shadow. But within the shadow now, that's when there's a whole bunch of shit that's happening. Your emotions are there, all of the like subconscious mind, whatever the fuck. It's all dark in a sense of, the non-tangible aspect of yourself. That's why there's another term that we use in the occult. When we tell you to find the light, you're gonna find the light in the dark. And the dark could be so many different things. It can also be translated at the thing that you don't see. Now, once you find the shit that you don't see, it added to you. It adds more to you. Then you have more sight. And when you got more sight, well, guess what, nigga? You know what I'm saying? Out of the darkness come the light. In other words, out of your misunderstanding, that's why they tell you to ask questions. What you don't understand, then you're gonna get the answer. And that's why the dark side could mean so many different things too. Don't get stuck on that fucking evil and whatever the fuck shit. In this case, it's simply like what's not visible. The part of you that I can't touch, but that fucking exists, like your fucking personality. I don't see it, but hey, it is what it is, nigga. So you got to deal with those different aspects of yourself, and that's what doing the shadow self is romancing, is bringing the self and the shadow together. But now there's a problem now when you're not following yourself. So meaning you cannot take accountability. When you see a lot of people like this is how society, that's how this is the construct. I mean, you could blame them all you want if that's what you want to do. But the truth is you've been trained to think that way. How do you take accountability? I mean, because I would assume if you want to take accountability, the first accountability to take, nigga, is to follow yourself. Isn't that what you're trying to do when you say, "Oh, I'm sorry," or "I realize I didn't do this right"? But if you would have had that accountability from the get go, nigga, like, you know what I'm saying? Now, you were not trained to think that way. All right? Then. You know what I'm saying? And that's how they rocking you to bed, baby. Little twinkle, whatever the fuck, little shining stars. The fuck, man. So now dealing with the shadow self, and the more you not conscious of the self, the further that's when you see when people are being triggered. You see it all the time. You may say they are in denial, which they are, and I agree with you. But there's something more that's taking place underneath it all that you may have to take on. Well, again, our true nature, the shadow self. And your shadow, pretty much, especially when you're not aware of it, it permeates in different aspects of your life. And the part of it that I'm going to be talking about tonight is going to be in dating. How does your shadow self display itself in dating? But yet you don't even see it because, first of all, you would have to be conscious of the self. Then now you start to align the shadow and the self to come together. Because ultimately, when you, the whole balance for them, that's bringing them together. The mind, body, and soul, that's your emotion, a strong mind, a strong body. They all come together. Because I had already talked about, let's just say, you know what I'm saying, the shadow self, pretty much in your parents. Like firsthand, like there's some shit I have experienced. This shit is my name should be Cinderella. Name, because my life is the Cinderella story. You see what I'm saying? My name should have been Cinderella. You know what I'm saying? Dealing with family hate, people trying to set you up to steal your inheritance. You know what I'm saying? Oh, because you are the bright ones, they try to put you down. I'm dealing with all that's their shadow. So at home there's a face and outside there's a different face. Like I'll give you a perfect example, like my mom, right? When she's talking to her friend, she'll be like, you shouldn't be involved in your kid's life. They have a life. You have to respect that. But that's their life. You can't do that. But this bitch in her house, that's not what it is. You see what I'm saying? Because that's where her truth. So now that's how you always know your parents at home is different. That's why the niggas, I'll see you at home, nigga. You're like, oh yeah, you know what part you're gonna see. You know what I'm saying? So you're dealing with their issues because my mom didn't do her shadow work. Now she's looking at me as a competition. So it's almost like the more I am becoming of myself, so that's more of a problem for her. Can you imagine being raised in a family like that? It's literally suicide. And it's not just saying to say. That's exactly what it is. And just because she was not able to control me, you know, I mean, shit. She gotta take me out. Hire people, you know what I'm saying, because of my inheritance now. You know what I'm saying? Niggas hate me because I look pretty. This is a pure hate. This is hate crime. That's when I realized people don't hate you for what you have. They really hate you for who you are. But anyway, I'm saying all of that to say now you're dealing with the shadow self. And that's all maybe I mean may not be your reality as it is. My shit is just it's just listen. To whom much is given, hey, you already know. The responsibility, listen, man, the knowledge comes with you gotta go through that. You gotta earn your stripes. You know what I'm saying? That's why I carry my cross, man. Proudly too. I'll make it look good. You know what I'm saying? Like the crown they gave me that had blood and shit. Nah, nigga, I changed that shit. You know what I'm saying? You find your beauty. And that's why I always tell people too. You always need a good opposition. So when we're dealing with the occult, this is all helping you to be a better you. That's why spirituality, a spiritual person is nothing but a good fucking human being in all aspect. You honest with motherfuckers. You ain't judging motherfuckers. They do you wrong, you forgive them. I don't fuck with them though. I'm fat, but I'm not losing sleep, baby. You're not fucking up my beauty. I can see you miles away, nigga. You want me to be like you. It's different. Isn't that what you were telling your friend? You see what I'm saying? You lying ass bitch. And that's what you're gonna have to go down. Listen, man. It's like my mom's been setting me up for 42 years, nigga, to failure. To failure. And because she's not in tune with herself, so her shadow self takes over her. That's what they call now. It becomes your dragon. That's when you'll see people will tell you got to slay your dragon. You got to do all that shit. Well, that's part of your shadow self, and that's when part of it is that little child. They always show you, but that monster, because that little child is really a true monster. That's what you see in those fucking horror movies, man. And well, I guess it's that's where they use the Necronomicon shit. You know what I'm saying? To depict some spiritual shit, they use it to whatever the fuck. But that's when the fucking little baby now they always show you, and then it's the monster. What's that referring to? It's those early things, pain, and in reality, those are who your criminals are. That's why my mom is a criminal. Because you know how they always show you all those criminals. Yeah, they started somehow. They started killing birds, killing animals. But a lot of that shit also has to do with, maybe out of neglect, or I mean, being isolated, or maybe they feel neglected too. Definitely, definitely. You know what I'm saying? Because you got to understand. Because when you follow yourself, isolation. That's why for me, when I isolate, nigga, I rejuvenate. That's why I don't need to be around a lot of people. I'm good right here, baby. But I'm also the life of the party too. Well, I'm a total package. Enough of me. Of me. It's only right if I'm talking about my mom. I mean, shit. I gotta tell you how I see me. I tell you my life and how the fuck it is. But hopefully, keep in mind we're talking about the shadow self here, and again, reflecting how the life that life you're looking at is a lot complicated than it appears to be. In other words, not okay. I'm saying too much words here. In other words, it's not what it seems to be or what it appears. And when you understand that your spirit, ultimately what you're doing is when you're interacting with other people, it's either you're dealing with their true self or you're dealing with their shadow self. And the shadow, because it has taken over a lot of people, we have created a whole dating pool where, what I'm saying, that's why we have the battle between the sexes in our culture. Because me being born in Haiti and coming over here, I going through the culture shock, I loved it because I really got to, okay, let me see how you guys see it from here. I'm like, oh shit, that's how you guys see it? You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna have to do some realignment. Wow. Okay. So the shadow self now in dating, what you have is the battle between the sexes. You have people who've been disappointed Things didn't work out the way they wanted it. And now, instead of checking the self, that's when you will have now people that would say, what I'm saying, fuck love. Can love pay my bills? Nigga, since when money became greater than everything? Do you take shower? Do you drink water? Can water pay your bills? Sounds to me like there's a little bit of nah 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 nah. You know what I'm saying? Now that's what we truly should be talking about. Then you have a society that's built of that though. Oh, listen, it gets deep. It gets deep. That's why you have niggas like Steve Harvey, you know what I'm saying? Think like a man, but act like a lady. That's when these guys come in. Because what they dealing is they know how to talk to your shadow self. The best way to talk to the shadow self is to make it recognize that it doesn't need to change. There's nothing wrong with you. That's why you see a lot of these guys, they're always telling you women you are the prize. Bullshit. Nobody is no fucking prize until you become the prize, nigga. Goes for both men and women, kids, whatever the fuck. Everything has to be learned. You got to put your work in. It goes for everybody. You are not no fucking prize until you become the prize. Just because I was born with a dick doesn't make me a man. Or I had to walk, you know what I'm saying? That's the rites of passage, nigga. And vice versa. Obviously, with the feminine movement, you could see just because you're female, that doesn't mean you are feminine. So anybody who's not talking about you, self-consciousness, how you got to be aware of yourself, it's not helping you. It's not. And if that's the case, well, why don't you guys tell, besides a great seller, how did Steve Harvey book change your life? And if it did, for how long? When you watch a movie like Hitch, again, looking at the dating pool, it's so shadow shit. So now you have people who've been disappointed in dating. Now they have become the very thing that they were a victim of because you're not looking to better yourself. You're looking now to, okay, that's not what you're saying to yourself, but technically what you're doing is that's what they did to me. Now I'm going to do it to other people. How do you do it to other people? Well, guess what? That's when these niggas now, out of toxicity, they're giving you dating game. Now, for women, I'm listening to these niggas. What you can watch those movies too. I mean, it's all around you. It's like you want to be open, but you don't want to be too available. You know what I'm saying? Now you let him, you give him your number, but you don't take his number. You at war, nigga. I mean, so this is really deceiving someone else, becoming in control. So that's why the whole courting thing, what you're truly seeing is the battle between the sexes. In other words, it's almost like, and this is all with their shadow self. This shit go deep. It goes deep. So it's almost like the motherfucker with the most insecurity is the one that's gonna win the relationship, or is the one who's gonna win. Because the more insecure you are, the more you have to dominate other people. because now you don't even fucking know. Should you have sex after a day? Should you have sex after 3 months? Should you have sex after a month, nigga? Because you already know the same night is a no no. That's the thing you're learning. That takes you no fucking where. You playing a losing hand. It's like you being fake. You want to make something real out of something fake. That ain't magic. That's not how magic works, nigga. You know what I'm saying? Now, magic, it may look fake, but it's real in the inside, nigga. Now you're dealing with magic. Now you're gonna make magic, nigga. So, when I listen to shit, you know what I'm saying? Because these niggas entertain me. Listen. So, like again, and meanwhile, people who are truly falling in love, who found their authentic self, sometimes they have sex the same night, they stay together forever. Sometimes it may take 2 to 3 months too. They're enjoying each other. There's no fucking rules, nigga. There's no, this is what you're gonna, nah. You're playing yourself. You jerking off, nigga. But you only, because you were vulnerable, you were not ready to face yourself. Because there cannot be nothing wrong with you. But then the reality truly is, it's yourself. And I see it all the time, man. I listen to niggas, right? They're giving like advice to women. I'm like, okay, let me see what you gotta say, dog. Because you never know, you know what I'm saying? Hey, game is game, nigga. You know what I'm saying? Wisdom is wisdom, regardless where it comes from. So now it's like, okay, you never like there was a situation that I was looking at, right? So the bitch, I mean the lady, well, excuse my French. As people like the lady was dating this guy for 2 years or maybe 3 years. They never got married, so they separated. And now, like a month later, this nigga found another girl, and he immediately got married. So now I'm like, oh, okay. So what's up, nigga? What you gonna say? Eh, So this nigga's advice to that girl, it's like, you know what? You are not strong enough. Meaning you gave away the pussy. You was giving them too much. You got to make them suffer, and that's where all that game is coming from. You know what I'm saying? And by you making other people suffer, you would have to become more of a criminal yourself. So this is how you're transforming. Now, the very first thing that you were a victim, sort of like by, and not having the proper understanding, now you're becoming worse, thinking that you're becoming more insecure. You know what I'm saying? That's where a bitch will give you his number. You call the bitch the next day, a couple of days later. Nah, it's not. That's not it. Huh, ladies? Like, I found this, I was cracking, I was having so much fun with this bitch, man. Like, cause I was showing her how fake she was, cause I saw her mask. Like, and then it's like, she was so excited, like the minute she saw me and shit. But then, as we were talking, and then she just got cold. I'm like, oh shit, that's the code. The bitch turned sub-zero. Fuck out of here. But that's the game that's being given to you. So it's almost like, and these relationships never work. They never last. You're never gonna be happy. I mean, because your true self, is not involved in it, and all of that, stems from out of your fucking the shadow self. out of fucking ignorance. And a motherfucker too that's not telling you the truth about you. If you dating, listen, it's not for you to kill yourself, but you gotta analyze yourself, nigga. If you dated somebody for 2 years and after a month of breaking up, this nigga got married, yes, there's something wrong with you, dog. Not wrong like you're fucking handicapped. Nah, just to analyze, nigga. We all could be wrong, nigga. There is something wrong with you. Your early disappointment. That's truly what that fucking problem was. Because I was raised with my fucking cousins too. I see this shit. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes because of what you saw with your mom and dad, you tend to carry that with you. And shit, I got plenty of fucking example. I see that in my cousins because my uncle used to whoop their mom's ass. So these niggas, they are avenging their moms, not by fighting with my uncle, but now they're saying to themselves, "I'm never gonna allow men to do that to me." So therefore, you know what that is? I'm never gonna give you 100%. So I'm always gonna be reserved when it comes to, even though we're trying to do something real. I'm always and that shit never works. It doesn't work that way. Not if you're looking to become one with somebody. Not if you're looking to love each other. That's when you have to love yourself first. And that other person has to do the same thing. That's when you find the authentic self. Like true love is two true motherfuckers who are like authentic with who the fuck they are. So yes, it's you, bitch. Yeah, motherfucker, it's you. Sometimes the guy may not be able to point out what the fuck is it that, but energy. Okay, same thing goes. I'm not fucking his energy, and a lot of times a lot of those guys like the simps, they carry a certain energy. That's why you're like, nah, we're just gonna go to dinner. Now I've seen niggas. Let me show you the bitch ass and niggas too. Now I've seen guys, and that shit is deep. A lot of people don't look at it that way. I'm looking at the podcast. I'm like, okay, what these niggas talking about? Good. I'm sure what these niggas talking about. So now what I'm seeing is there was a nigga that took a girl out on the fucking date. First date. Nigga must have spent like it was time for him to like to pay for the bill. Then the nigga go like, yo, am I gonna get some pussy tonight? I'm like, yo, that this is crazy. Then now you have other niggas now looking at that footage and say, yeah, man, you know what I'm saying? Like, nah, nigga, what you saying? But the reality of it too, for a guy to come to that conclusion, it's a lot of early disappointments. I'm not making excuses. I'm trying to get just like for you, like there's reasons, like that's why when shit don't work out between you and somebody, you always gotta look at yourself. Now you don't have to go kill yourself. That's not what we're saying here. Looking at yourself doesn't mean like nah, nigga, like you're not shaming yourself. You analyzing the situation. What could have been done better? What is it about you that you don't want people to know that really people would reject about you? Let me say that again. What is it about you that's that ugly? Until you figure out what's ugly about you that's making other people not liking you, that doesn't mean you gotta live for other people. Like I mean, we're talking about self work here. Again, the shadow self. So if you're talking about dating, that's what you gotta, that's, you know what I'm saying? You gotta find out what is it about you that is ugly that when other people look at it, they're like, I don't want to fuck with you. You know what I'm saying? You may have been with this guy for 2 years, and the same thing goes for the guys too. Because you have a lot of broken men. The simps are fucking broken men. And those are the niggas on the podcast. I'm not calling out no names. You know what I'm saying? Anytime you see a nigga talking about how, you know what I'm saying, they're saying bitches are emotional, but yet they're saying it logically. I mean, the whole shit is fucked up to me. Like, if you saying women are emotional, why do you approach them logically? I mean, isn't that you contradicting your own self? It's almost like these niggas are begging women, like, to nah, man, like the fuck. Get a grip on this. You see, when you have a better grip on yourself, you like I give a fuck about a bitch. You suck how many dick you want to suck. What the fuck that has to do with me? If anything, I'm gonna talk about love, nigga. Uh, the fuck? Be honest. So it's like within the culture, all you dealing with is fucking shadow selves, man. But the true thing is, until you realize what is it that in you, and that goes for both men. Like, you see that guy that did something like that? That's over a lot of fucking disappointment. So now this nigga said, "Fuck it." You know, that's when they become violent too, because his fucking shadow has taken over him now. Bitch, what's up? I'm fucking or not? And guess what? She wasn't gonna fuck you. That's why you're probably asking that too. Now, instead of niggas looking at it from this perspective, they're looking at the bitch who's taking advantage of that nigga. I mean, yeah, I mean you have bitches like that, but you got something greater here, man. You got a bitch ass nigga, and then he's recording that on top of it. Now, fuck that bitch at this point. I gotta address that. I mean, it kind of makes sense too. Why you all with this bitch, nigga? Because just like they say, abused people tend to, you know, align themselves with other abusive people. And that's the thing you have to realize about you, man. It ain't no man. There's no fucking one night or 6 months later you have for you to fuck. None of that shit. When you make that connection, nigga, you make the rules. There was a older couple that was on, and I talked about that too. That was on Steve Harvey show, like the whole love shit. And then when Steve Harvey asked her, and he cut that shit off too, real quick. Ask her, like, what advice would you give to the young kids? And it's just like, what are you asking me that for? And then, of course, this motherfucker, because that's how he came up. So what the fuck do you mean? You fucking up my shit. So yeah, he understood that real quick. And I'm watching this shit. I'm like, all right. You know what I'm saying? He flipped the whole conversation. And then on top of that too, they met when she was underage. I think the man was probably 19 and she was 17 or some shit like that. When he asked him, well, what were you doing? She'll say, I was not counting at that day. I'm showing you a whole different perspective of life. 17, 16, they both were authentic to who they were, nigga. Not you now, you know what I'm saying? You gotta be open, but I'm not available. I'm gonna give him my number. I'm like, come on, what the fuck are you doing? Then after that, it's like you again, just like I was saying, you have became the very first thing that, let's just say, you were fighting against, or maybe the very first thing that fucking hates you, or hurt you. My bad. And now this is the dating game. Y'all niggas are wild. So it's like within the shadow, you're creating even more shadow. So you'll never take accountability. You'll never change. You're just becoming bitter. Those dating advices, it's making you bitter. In other words, it's making you worse than the way you were before. That's why you have to learn how to love with a fucking open heart. Look at love just like the way, nigga, you were learning how to walk. You keep getting up, you keep learning. Sometimes what hurts the heart, fix your vision. Fix your fucking vision and keep walking. How do you want to play the game? Hey, I'm a winner, baby. You got me fucked up. I'm a winner, nigga. You know what I'm saying? Like when you do all that fuck shit, now as you become in a fucking you abusing other people, and you creating a whole abusive fucking relationship, and that's what toxicity is. We have a culture. Our culture is toxic, bro. Hmm? How do you stay pure in a city of sin? Oh, you gotta find yourself, nigga. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? How you find yourself in the city of the lost, man? It's a lot deeper, when people are not, again, but fortunately, the further away you are from yourself, that's where I mean, you can only take accountability when you somehow becoming a little more conscious of yourself, bro. That's why you could say whatever the fuck you want, but you see the pattern. That's why we all call them narcissists, right? Or the narcissist. We talk about these kind of people. Well, that's just a new terminology, but those people always been there. Like that's what I call them, energy vampires. And what you're also dealing with, you're dealing with their shadow self, the monster, like that little kid that became a monster. And those are your criminals in society too. This is all spiritual. Like I was able to tap into my mom socio like fucking, path, like to understand her. And for me to get the information that I needed too. The competition between you and your kid for a very long time. You know how weak you gotta be? Do you know how out of tune with yourself that you got? Here's something else too. Like that's why, giving birth doesn't make you a mother. That shit has to emerge out of you. It's a level of consciousness. And that's what we're all dealing with. So all around you're dealing with people's shadows, man. And what you're calling the criminal are these motherfuckers. With those early fucking disappointments that turn into monsters. These are the motherfuckers who laugh at other people's pain. They take great pleasure because they've been so hurt, so disappointed. Hey, it is what it is. So that's, ultimately, and then now, in relationship and all around us. Again, this is all spiritual. So dealing with, the shadow self in a relationship. It's just, and now you're not even able to identify it because you're not closer to yourself. That's why you see like a lot of these people when I'm looking at the collective consciousness, people who are looking for, let's just say, dating advice. It's like it's more chaotic. They're not addressing the real issue. You know what I'm saying? The real issue would be just like I was saying for like one of my cousins. Like, okay, so that's the shit, that's the underlying shit that's really, preventing you from fucking having a man. Now you date, what I'm saying? Just like I was saying with that guy, right? You know you're not gonna give him, there's something about him. Well, there's something about you too. And on both sides. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm talking about even with that guy, man, like that's a desperate guy. You can call it loser if you like. I wouldn't be mad at that. But for the sake that you understand what I'm trying to say, the number of disappointment that this nigga, yeah, he's a loser. He's been losing. But now his psychological shit could be with his own fucking mother. You know what I'm saying? That he may not know, he's not fully aware of. Now he's got to act different. Because like I told you guys, man, everybody got to put the work in. No one is a fucking prize until you become the prize. And in fact, that's what makes the prize a prize. It's got to be precious in itself. So you have to solidify, or you know what I'm saying, shit, you have to validate. Like if you're not useful, how good? I mean, if you don't use you, how useful are you? You see what I'm saying? And you'll see every successful motherfucker, they use themselves. You know what I'm saying? You could talk shit all you want. Meanwhile, this nigga's putting the work in. And the niggas that are hating are niggas who ain't doing shit for themselves, but who forgot about their life. Now they focus on your life. Those are the losers. They care about me, I don't care about them. You make that make sense. Makes sense. I don't give a fuck about you, you give a fuck about me. Make that make sense. I don't know. Delusional motherfuckers, man. You know, and that's when the nigga like, nah, man, you love me, you just don't know it. All right, baby. Why? Because the nigga just like, nah. I mean, shit. Like everybody gotta love you, and that's why a lot of these people become bullies too. Like that nigga became a bully out of fucking disappointment, and on top of it, he's putting that shit on camera too. I'm like, God damn, it doesn't stop because he didn't have the self respect to begin with. So you already know everything's downhill from there. I mean, it all makes sense to me. Or you, I'm not shocked at all. Now, at this point, I'm only shocked. Like, he didn't even smack that bitch. Bitch, what the fuck do you. No, oh, guess what? Because he asked for separate checks, too. The niggas go like, yeah, nigga, that's right, man. This bitch should be eating our money, dog. You know what I'm saying? But have you had a little self respect? Like, I don't even deal, like, nigga, Nori said that shit best. And I was watching one of the Drink Champs, whatever shit. This nigga said the shit, and that shit stuck with me too. I love the way he said it. because I never verbalized it that way, but that's the way I was living it, if that makes any sense. It's like, like he was saying some shit about racism, right? And then he said, yo, man, it's not even about racist. It's like, like for me, and that's why I tell niggas too, maybe I can relate to it because I'm fucking Haitian too. Like, can you imagine? They're saying there's two fountains. This is white, this is black. Yo, I would never want to drink out of that white shit, nigga. In fact, I want to cherish mine. This is our water, baby. We got our own fucking water. Like, what I'm trying to say is, and I can't do it myself. Why do I give a fuck about somebody that don't give a fuck about me, dog? Can't do it. So, again, but it takes a self love and self respect. So now, if you give, let's just say, you give your number, you give me your number. I called you once. You think I'm gonna call you twice? Nigga, you out of your mind. Hey, you out of your mind, nigga. I'm saying that to say. So if you have somebody, you gotta treat them like trash for them to chase you. What type of person are you getting? That's because you abused or feel abused. You becoming abusive. Now you gotta abuse somebody else. Now that's what you're calling love. Wow. And that's the game. That's your dating game. There you have it. Now that's your battle between the sexes. It's like it's just you guys sure know how to lose. You sure know how to use how to fucking lose. And then you have bitches now due to lack of securities. Now they trapping niggas because nobody want to stay with you. Now do you what you got to do? You got to trap them because you're not looking for niggas to accept you for who you are. But what you don't understand is you're not trapping nobody but your motherfucking self. The minute you neglect yourself, nigga, you neglect like you lose. Your aim is not right. You know what I'm saying? Because you don't stay on the target. The aim and the target gotta be one, baby. You're not aiming right, nor do you get the target right. You all fucked up now. My niggas. So now you have niggas that are becoming and that's how it's taking form. Even you becoming even more bitter now. Not only you have now, let's just say, master your pain, master or what's the word that I'm buried your pain, but now you become the best, like you know how to put a mask on. So what they teaching you in those dating thing, what I'm saying, you want to be available, not to be available, because why? If you're too easy, he doesn't want you. What the fuck? What the fuck? Fuck? The fuck is that? I don't know. I don't know. Y'all got to put me on some games. But guess what, motherfucker? Fuck you and your game, because my name ain't James, nigga. It's just out of that toxicity. Now, all you doing is becoming more bitter on both sides, just like that nigga. And now you have other niggas now that are promoting this bullshit because they're all bitter niggas, disappointment niggas. That's that little clique. Yeah, it always take our money, dog. You know what I'm saying? Nah, nigga. You know what I'm saying? If you in alignment, like I'll give well, not that I wanted to use myself. Like, I don't know. I never had to pay for or to show a bitch that I possess this, I possess that for me to have their fucking attention. And these women, they know that too. They know the difference. Oh, they do. They do. You know what I'm saying? I remember I met this bitch, and that's how I know. You know what I'm saying? She give it up. Yeah. I was like, all right, nigga, you know what I'm saying? But that's not what I'm doing tonight, though. I see you. She was true to her game. She was looking for dumb motherfuckers. He's like, yo, we were, you know what I'm saying? We were able to talk our shit. Game recognized game, all right, nigga, but she's true to her game. I'm like, hey, go get it. You know what I'm saying? Hey, sometimes we all may have to do what we all got to do. The bottom line is here, like, they know. They know. They know, bro. You know what I'm saying? And there's a key question too, a couple of questions they would actually ask you. How, their tastes are good. I remember this bitch like, yeah. I'm like, nah, nigga. You know what I'm saying? Luxury. Like, first of all, you know what I'm saying? That's not some shit you would just show it. If you're a top notch bitch, you gotta say that you're a top notch bitch. I don't know, man. I don't know. Because I know a couple ones who are doing it, really doing it. You know what I'm saying? All right, you know what I'm saying? It doesn't have to be said, baby. You know what I'm saying? It shows. If you saying you a quality, a nigga. You know what I'm saying? But what I realize a lot of these motherfuckers, the quality is what they want you to buy for them. But it's not because of who they are. They're gonna be quality on you. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Now that's the bitch. When she goes out to the fucking dinner with you now, she order lobster. When she go out by herself, she order the chicken. Nah. You know what I'm saying? You ain't top notch, man. You're not even halfway top notch. When you top notch, nigga, you go get the lobster. And now with the nigga, now you tell the nigga I eat lobster, nigga, because that's what I get for myself. I don't mean to bother, and the nigga would know that too. The nigga would know that too. Like even that nigga with that bitch, he know that she was a bitch. You know what I'm saying? Because that nigga would have been on his best fucking behavior. Trust me, and probably pay another dinner too. Hey, you want to buy some for your kids? Yo, y'all motherfuckers are wildin'. Man, listen, man, stay pure in the city of sin, baby. You know what I'm saying? You stay pure out there. And the only way to do that, handsome, you got to get in touch with the self. The self, man. It's the key for everything. Again, that's why we praise the self. We acknowledge the self. And again, I understand, due to political shit, you know what I'm saying? It's almost like, here's something else too. Why do I got to be like trash to be honored? So you mean to tell me I gotta treat myself like shit for you to feel like I have some values? So you don't see value in my values? Why y'all doing this to me? You're doing this to me. But if you're saying something is valuable, it's gotta have values. Why are you doing this to me, baby? What have I done to you? Do you see what I'm trying to say? It's like, oh man, it's just unbelievable. but true. But it's everything, man. It's the journey. It's lovely, man. But anyway, how should I close this out? Because I felt like trying to see if I didn't touch on anything that I needed to touch on. And of course, I mean, it's always, I always go to spaces with it. But yeah, man, the shadow self and dating, and when this shit are taking place, people are not aware of them. You have now people who are becoming takers, like they're dominating each other, but they don't realize what they're doing because the self, again, there's no accountability from the very beginning. It doesn't have to be from there, but I'm just trying to show you too. That's when you have to change, right? That's when, you have to be born again. So at some point, when you make that connection to self, come back home, nigga. Please connect. Said, remember. I want you to remember. Become a member again. You know what I'm saying? And that has to do with you simply knowing who you are. And that's what the state of ignorance is. It's like you are living, but you're not conscious. You know what I'm saying? And when you're not conscious, then you don't know what's taking place. That's when you're following the crowd. That's when you're following other people, and you don't know the truth for yourself. But have no fear. Have no fear. That's why I'm here. That's why I'm here, and and even by telling you a little bit about myself to show you, man, it's like shit, I understand your pain more than you can even imagine. But unfortunately, a lot of us, it's like we're not aware. I know for me, when I first started to identify, yo, I came from a fucked up, like fucking dysfunctional family. All fucked up family. It's the same shit. I mean, to be politically correct, let's just say it's dysfunctional. Mhm. Let's just say dysfunctional. So we don't step on nobody's toes. We don't know who's watching. Oh, nigga, you thought I was fucked up? Hey, you never know. You never know who's watching. Listen, man, I'm keeping it simple. I'm keeping it little. You know what I'm saying? Hey, listen. Anyway, it's like when I started, my first psychology class, man. I'm like, shit, what? You know what I'm saying? So, damn, man, and we had to overcome, and that's part of the journey, getting to know myself, coming in touch with myself. Now, with the shadow self, we understand this is a big party. We have to come together. And when we're saying, even being healthy, what I'm saying, mentally, even your pain, that's why you don't neglect your pain. To be healthy is to have everybody at the table. Your pain and everybody's having a healthy conversation. What's going on, dog? Okay, you're disappointed about this. I get it. Okay. Then that's the whole journey. You know what I'm saying? You transmuting now, you having a better understanding of what took place, then you're able to release. You know what I'm saying? Cause you know what I'm saying, you gotta loosen up your grip a little bit. Let go, nigga. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like even though you went through time, but you have not changed. And that's why you see a lot of these people, and I see that in my mom and whatever the fuck, they hold on to pain, to what I'm saying, they're afraid of letting go. And that's how they truly become the monster. And that's why you see the baby, because it's not grown, but the monster motherfucker. That's what you're dealing with. And the shadow self is displaying or reflecting itself in so many different aspects of yourself. So I talked about the parental shit. Now in dealing with relationship, and that's what I guess I just talked about. Now when, the whole thing of, women finding a men, men finding a woman, ultimately everybody's dealing with their shadow self. So you know how they say, so then now let's just say when you come together now, at some point, you're gonna drop the mask, baby. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. You might be able to do it for 2, 3 years, depending how what I'm saying, how deep you go with that shit. Because a lot of you motherfuckers are great deceivers. So hey, you know what I'm saying? Like you're playing yourself, you're doing it to yourself, right? So let's say if you do it for fucking, I don't know. Some people do it for 30, 40 years, nigga. Oh, they know how to wear that shit well, nigga. Depending on where you at on the scale, right? But ultimately, it's like both shadow self will come to meet each other. And when there's no whatever the fuck, y'all guys can't work it out, then that's when you have your fucking separation. Or if one of you now is becoming more into the self, you know what I'm saying? And then now I know for me, that's what happened for me in the past. As I'm delving more into the self, I know I gotta move away from you because that this is not it. I'm dealing with your shadow self, and you're not ready to deal with your shadow self. So therefore, I can't deal with you because now I'm becoming more in alignment with myself. That's why there's no fucking way I'm gonna be with a motherfucker who look like a dead motherfucker. And trust me, I tried. I finally admit it, y'all. But what I'm truly saying, it is what it is. Like I'm too much into the self for me to go with somebody who's fake. Hey man, I don't know. And I'm willing to stay the way it is. 'Cause I found the treasure. I'm not to say I don't need none of that. No, not at all. Fat naked. I'm saving myself for that one. Well, I'm gonna fuck the shit out of that bitch. She doesn't even know it. I'm saying, hey, doing sexy. Son, I heard you been looking at me, huh? Well, you gonna let yourself know, nigga. You know what I'm saying? What you gonna do? You know what I mean? Saying, you gotta be fair, nigga. You gotta come get me or what? Nigga, what you doing? And that's when, the separation occurs. So again, to show you also our nature is a lot deeper than what it appears to be. All comes right back to what we were talking about when we talk about spirituality. And even if we were talking about the different religions, different perspective, the tantric talks about sex, union, and again, when they talk about sex, oh man, I always got a story to tell about that shit. But anyway, that was the first thing I remember when I first got into it. Again, that's when I realized, oh shit, I'm more American than I think. So, all this time I was on my Haitian time thinking it wasn't I'm so Haitian. But nah, nigga. So I had to become more aware. And by American, I'm not trying to, downplay anything here. I'm just saying adopting because and again, it's like I always tell people, wherever the fuck you live, you're gonna adopt that shit one way or another. Until you master yourself, then at that point, because my whole thing for me is learning how to be Haitian and not being Haitian, how to be Haitian and not being Haitian. That's how I set myself free. You know what I'm saying? And for you, I would hope, what I'm saying, how for you to be American and not be an American. Because now you embrace the South, this is where you were born, this is all of that, but you also understand, nigga, there's more than me, nigga. You know what I'm saying? There's a whole lot more than me, nigga, trust me. You, well, I trust myself. And I have experienced it too. That's got to be Nick. There's more to me than that. What? I'm saying shit that I live. There's more to me than that. Gosh, it's dying. Okay, all right, playing. But anyway, again, dealing with the shadow self, the best way when we're doing the shadow work, ultimately, because I wanted to somehow, if you're not too conscious of yourself, I was just trying to call your shadow self out. So that way, what I'm saying, you'll have the opportunity. Again, as a spiritual healer, I'm just holding the mirror, trying to show you that shadow self and the way it acts. And because again, as I stated, it permeated in all different aspects of your life and is reacting, a certain way that, again, if you're not in alignment with yourself, you're not gonna catch it. And ironically, if you're watching this, the first realignment that you're doing to yourself right now, as you may not be aware, is that you're becoming conscious of your society. Even when I talked about the whole dating game, you know, it's to give you a broader perspective, becoming more conscious of what's taking place, becoming more conscious of the battle between the sexes. Whereas you're doing something fake to get something real, it's like it's doesn't make sense. It's like you're planting mango, you're expecting to get bananas, but also you're becoming so abusive because you've been abused. And of course, I mean that's what the game is teaching you. And for you to do that, there cannot be nothing wrong with you. You're already good. And this nigga's all right. Because for you to get that type of work done, in fact, where you at is where you need to be. Do you understand what I'm saying? Because you wanna squeeze his balls, or if you're a nigga, you wanna whatever the fuck dominate that bitch. So it's wow, I'm saying all you gotta do is follow your light, baby. You follow your light, everything will. You know what I'm saying? Then you gotta understand the gender. The Kabbalion talks about the law of gender, the masculinity and the femininity. As part of you being conscious of yourself. That's why the whole Kabbalion, the whole purpose is self mastery. So when you understand those different aspects of yourself, then you could put them together. Now you're becoming more aware. You have better grasp or control over yourself, self mastery. And then after you master yourself, you lose that shit. You throw it away. Such a paradoxical world, huh? That's true mastery. Anyway, I'm gonna leave it here. I hope. Shit, I still feel like I want to say something else, man, but I don't know that I'll miss anything else. Is there anything else that needs to be said regarding this? Yeah, again, going back to that realignment, just for you to be aware, and most importantly, looking at the society that we are in, you're not gonna be the best of you if you're not in love. And love, you gotta understand, is your nature. It's your nature to open up, right? Because no one become closed off after they got hurt. This is you as a baby. You fell down the first time, and you don't want to get up again. Like fuck, mom and dad. Yeah, I ain't walking. So even in looking at like just the whole baby walking shit, it's just showing you the principle of life. Again, the wisdom is all around us. That's why when you understand energy, you understand all of it. So I'm able to say that because the same things has to take place in you. That's the growth. That's why you always got to keep changing, keep on becoming. Lose your identity or find your identity, becoming a better version of yourself by losing the old side of you. But again, it's all you. It's I know it's paradoxical, but you got to live it though. Once you live it, it's like that's when you understand this is for the living. In other words, you have to materialize it though. The words got to be made flesh, baby. You have to become the wisdom all day, every day. And that's how you become a better person. That's how you become a smarter person, not just in your talk, but you know what I'm saying? You talking and moving. You see what I'm saying? So again, your shadow self is not your enemy. It became your enemy because you neglected the very first thing, which is yourself. And the minute you start to grasp yourself, guess what? That's when you start taking accountability. That was me. That was me. That was me. Oh, I did that. I shouldn't do that. Then how do I do this better? How do I do that? Okay. Then now you start doing that, then you're gonna get to the shadow. I mean, to that wounded child, that little monster baby. Well, you know what I'm saying? It's not a baby monster. That's a monster baby. That's Chucky, nigga. You know what I'm saying? Because a baby monster could grow to become a bigger monster. Not this nigga. That's a monster baby, nigga. That's Chucky. A bunch of motherfucking Chuckies out there. Don't worry. I ain't scared of you niggas. Man, Bernie Mac said that shit. That's my dog too. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Peace to the God. You feel me? Mm. I ain't scared of you motherfuckers. You must be out of your mind. You know what I'm saying? Hell, this is God's. Oh, this is divinely made, man. You know what I'm saying? This is strictly for the divine. Do you see what I'm saying? Strictly from the divine. Like this is straight up royalty. And listen, man, and listen, it's just a blessing for me even to talk about it and having that opportunity to share that with the world, man. Like, come on, man, I couldn't be any better than that because even to talk about this, I had to put the work in myself. Listen, it's beautiful. Listen, and also it's another way of me saying it's such an honor to serve you. Whoever the fuck you are, whoever the fuck this is gonna serve, nigga. Just know it comes from the good house, nigga. Each one teach one, man. This is on the house, baby. You know what I'm saying? Make sure you do the same for another. You hear me? That's all we doing here, man. Shit. And you mean to tell me this is what you want to take down? Hmm? You know what I'm saying? So can you imagine? You know what I'm saying? And having a mother and this is what you're going against? I mean, you're not even going against me to be honest. You're going against the people I represent. You throwing rock at the sun, nigga. I see.